In the previous video, we created a PHP script that connected to our server and retrieved data from the students table. In this video, we're doing the same, but this time with a Python script. We're about to create a Python script that connects to the MySQL server, uses mysql_tutorials database, and retrieves all data from the students table. If you remember, I created the PHP script inside the MySQL directory. Now I have moved it to a directory called PHP to keep everything clean. Now I want to create another directory and call it Python, so we set the environment there and we go ahead with creating the script. As a first step, I first create a directory called Python, and then I navigate to it. And now I create a virtual environment using Python or Python 3-m and then venv, and then the name of the virtual environment. In this case, I just name it venv. And after creating the virtual environment, we need to activate it, of course. In Linux systems, we do it by the source command. Venv and then bin and then activate. On other operating systems it differs, but of course if you're using Python you're already familiar with that specific command. After activating the virtual environment, we need to install a library called mysql-connector. To do that, we type pip install mysql-connector-python and wait for it to install. Based on the connection to the server and the server response, it may take a few moments, but after you have it installed, you're good to go to create your Python script. For now, we just have the virtual environment folder here, and now we want to create a file called main.py and write our Python script inside it. I'm using the Vim editor, but you're most welcome to use any type of IDE or editor that you want. I just want to keep everything simple so it's more understandable. I type vim main.py and press enter and start editing the script. First of all, we need to import the library that we have installed by typing import mysql.connector. And now that we have imported this library, we can create a variable called mysql-connector that uses the connect method, and this method takes some information like host, and then this must be comma, of course, and then user, and then password, and at the end the database. Now let's fill this information with the actual data. Localhost will be our host name, since I'm using the default host name on this server, and I want to use the root user that has a simple password like this, and the database that I want to work on is mysql_tutorials, as you see it here. So this MyDB will carry the connection using the data that I have given it. So the next one is creating a cursor using another variable. Let's call it my cursor, and then my DB and cursor. Now it's time to create the SQL statement using this cursor. So I type my cursor dot execute and then the SQL statement. So it will be select all from the students, and then we need another variable to store the results from this connection to it. So I type my result equals my cursor dot fetch all, that retrieves all data. If it's multiple rows, it doesn't matter. So after that, we will loop through all the data received from the connection and show them using a for loop. And so x will be representing a row. Each row will be representing an x from our my result. This way. So afterward we can print them out, and that will be the whole Python script that we need. Let's save this and call it using Python 3 and then main py. I'm using Python 3 on this machine, and after executing the command, after calling the main py, as you see, all the data from the MySQL table are retrieved. And this is the way that we connect to MySQL servers using Python scripts.